Hello everybody, welcome back. If you've been with this channel, you know I haven't been very active and uploaded to it in a long time. And no, it hasn't been about mini bikes. It's been about mainly the old classic Cub Cadets, my old farmall tractor. Uh, that's the projects of my own. And I think I've shared some other random things out on the road that I've come across. I'm going to try to bring some new life to this channel because I'm I guess I'm getting active again and messing with this kind of stuff, mechanical stuff in general. It won't all be about Cub Cadets and farmalls anymore. I'm less biased. I'm more interested in just old classic mechanical things. So a mini bike interested me, an old classic mini bike. Maybe more about this after a bit. I'm in a new place now. It's my buddy's place, and well, what happened to the channel? I started RVing. I sold all my stuff. I kept all my tools, but I sold off all my Cub Cadets and my tractor and everything, and I started RVing. And well, I have this up. I'm putting brakes and shocks and stuff on it now, but so I still do all my own mechanical work, and I keep up with some other things. Let me go down here at the back porch here for a minute. We keep things down here in the summertime, but I also keep this little bit of a fleet here going. There's more up in the garage. Some of these things had sat around for quite a while. Most of it's my buddy's stuff. He's a busy guy with his own business, long days and everything. And some of the toys didn't get used much, and they sat around, got dirty. The carburetors got all gunked up and all that, dead batteries and that sort of thing. So, a while back I've freshened everything up. The little Suzuki runs again. The Honda runs again. It didn't need much at all, really. That's his John Deere. That's my Cub Cadet. That's his aunt's next door. That old Troy built's pretty generic. It hasn't run in a long time. There's really not a need to it. There's another Craftsman over there. It's a garden tractor. So we have three that run. There's 3 acres here that need mowed. And I usually mow it on my Cub Cadet. Sometimes he'll jump on the John Deere. We'll tag team it and get it done quicker. But about this, I've become less biased. There's sometimes a little bit of banter about John Deere and Cub Cadet. It's like the Ford, Chevy, Dodge thing. The one guy says, you're so-and-so's junk, and I say, mine's the best, and all that sort of thing. But actually not much of that goes on between us and these. We're not rivals or give each other a hard time. And I gotta say, they're both been really good machines, reliable. They cut good, they run good. So I'll always favor Cub Cadets. But I got to show some respect, I guess, for as hard as that is for me to say, to the John Deere. It's been a good machine as well. But I think going forward, I want to kind of be more inclusive of other brands, and I just love the not even stuff that's new, really. I love the older classic. If it's mechanical and it's old, I enjoy giving things a second life. That's what the history of this channel has been, really. But that's just an idea of, I still turn wrenches and tinker with mechanical things. But those are more out of necessity because the grass needs mowed. That's not the hobby. That's not where I find my fun at. Okay, things like that old classic mini bike, getting it going again, that'll be fun. And if I apply the same skills and processes to the mini bike as I did some of the Cub Cadets, that's going to come out really nice. Now, I have a much nicer facility here. Again, this is my buddy's place. We have an arrangement here. It's been going on for over 3 years now, since I started RVing. I usually RV during the winter months and around the country, and I've come across some cool old equipment shows and steam shows, and or just something, an old tractor or something cool in somebody's yard. I come across some old Model Ts, Model T, blah, blah, Model T museum in Southern California was really cool. But that's the kind of stuff that I want to share on this channel, more so than the RV channel. And I'll get back to that in a second. Back to the garage here. So when I'm back in the summer, I can come here, plug the RV in. I got a place to stay, and in exchange, I help out maintain the equipment, keep it up and running. I help mow the grass, and it's just been a win-win for me and my buddy. He has a kind of a groundskeeper here and a in-house mechanic, so it works for him. And I got a place to park my RV in the summertime. I should speak up to some people here that's going to found this channel from my RV channel. About that, I'm not going to slack off on the RV channel. I've just reached a point where I can include, the RV channel is about RVing and seeing and doing, and yes, and I share just about anything, whether it's equipment related or a beautiful national park or just whatever. This mechanical stuff, there's a point to where I can share a certain amount of it, and people find it interesting too. But some of the stuff I want to go to, I want to get more in depth with, like getting this little engine going and talking about rebuilding this carburetor and getting new points in condenser and a head gasket, and I did the valve job on it, and as I start talking about that, and I can't spend 5 or 10 minutes showing what it takes to revive something that was actually thrown in a scrap pile. I'll bore the snot out of the RV people. I can touch on it for a moment and hit some basics of it, and here's where we're at, and now the mini bike's been all stripped and repainted, and maybe show that. I can give some updates, but that's the RVing channel is not the place to go into too much detail, again, without boring everybody to death and having people thinking that channel's turning into something else and losing subscribers. I want to keep it about RVing with maybe some of this stuff peppered in, okay? So this channel, I want to get back to, like I say, this garage. I mean, we used to work out of the shed, right? I had that little shed all cramped in there. I still have my nice compressor and my blasting cabinet back there for old rusty stuff, and I got, I have more tools. Some of this is my buddy's stuff, but a bit of it's mine too. But so, and we can share tools and stuff. Hey, do you have this, or hey, do you have that? And it works out good. What else? In my still my big rollaway tool cabinet, a little drill press, a lathe for making little shafts or bushings, and what else about this garage here? There's this old, let me go around this way a minute. There's this old machine shop equipment in here. There's an old, big old drill press, a horizontal mill, a lathe. Over here's a shaper. My buddy has his own machine shop. This is where it started at. This is where he started his business at. It has, grown to where now he has a more modern machine shop with, it's bigger. The building's bigger. It's got more and modern equipment. But this is where it all started at, and this equipment's been sitting in here unused for 10, 12 years now. It's been he moved up to the newer stuff. So this has been sitting here taking garage space up. We talked about it and decided to sell it. I put it listed it online for him. It's been sold. It'll be out of here soon, hopefully this weekend coming. It's all been paid for. The guy's just arranging the picking it up part of it. It's heavy stuff, so that's getting arranged. But all kind of room in here compared to the shed, and take on bigger and better projects. My buddy has some dirt bikes here. There's an old Gravely. Got an old Gravely here right now that it runs great, but he's going to update it a little bit, and he's been pull starting it for a while. The the starter on it has gone bad some time ago. It needs a new sprocket. The starter needs repaired. It needs a new sprocket on there. It's been ordered, a new chain down there, and What else? The new battery cables. Pick up a battery for it. Get an oil filter, oil change. Anyway, that's getting gone through and updated, and we're going to refab this deck a little bit, do a little bit of repair work on it. So we got some things going on. Yeah, about this engine again for a second. The guy I got it off of here just a few days ago said, "Oh, that engine's trashed. It's trashed." Well, I started by looking at the Minibike, and he says it doesn't have a motor. I says, "What?" I says, "No motor." I says, "Well, then the..." Well, he says, "Well, it does, but I threw it out in the scrap pile. It's gonna get scrapped." He says, "It's trashed. You're just gonna scrap it." I said, "Well, if I'm buying that Minibike frame off you, I'd like the original engine that was on it." He says, "Well, I can dig it out of the scrap pile. I'll happily include it, but I'm telling you, it's trashed." Well, to me, trashed is, okay, maybe it was literally thrown. Some things got busted off. Maybe the carburetor got busted off, or the pins smashed up and dented, and who knows what. Or maybe somebody couldn't get it running and got frustrated with it and just took a hammer to it and threw it out. That stuff happens, okay? But he brought it, and I've started going through it, and actually I'm pleasantly surprised. It'll run. It's gonna take a little bit more. We'll probably get to that in the next video. I don't want this one to run on too long, but again, see, that's the sort of thing that we're going through and doing the valve job on it, and the valve was stuck, freed it up, did a valve job. I'm working on it, but that's the stuff I don't want to bore the RV people to death with. Okay, I think just a couple updates here and there, but nothing too extensive, and make people, about the Minibike. Okay, this is a classic. It's just cool. It's because it's not your most generic type. A lot of them just had a solid frame the whole way back down. They were just like a box frame with no suspension whatsoever. This one's nice. It's kind of a diamond shaped frame, and the front of the seat pivots on these bolts here, and it comes back. At least the seat is on shocks and springs, so it has a little bit of give, a little bit of suspension going on there. So the engine, I got it off working, and what's nice is everything's pretty much intact on it. It still has both foot pegs that are not smashed or bent up. It still has both the front and rear fender that's hasn't been dented or nothing smashed. That'll all clean up nice and get repainted. The control grips on it, the throttle, I have that already torn apart. The throttle's frozen up on it, so I'll get a new whole throttle grip assembly. And the brake up here was smashed off, and the cable's kinked in a couple of places. It goes back here to the brake assembly. I think that will still function okay, but it needs a new cable and the new lever up there. So it'll get new control assemblies up here. And this shaft, the engine has a pulley that runs this pulley, which transfers the power out to here to this chain. It goes back here. Well, this whole shaft needs reworked. It's the bearings on it are all busted up and have come out. The other one's busted up too. So this is not functioning properly right now. And this chain, it's going to need replaced. But I think for now I can see it's all out of shape. A lot of these, every link doesn't pivot anymore. But I'll take that off of there and soak this with penetrating oil, and just gently start tapping on these a little bit, each one at a time, and I'll get each link in this to pivot again. And it's rusted to a point to where even lubed up and getting it freed up, it's probably weakened a little bit, but I think I can get it freed up and working good enough that when this thing's together, it'll be rideable, it'll be usable. Although eventually I'll probably put a fresh brand new chain on it. And those tires are a little bit dry rotted. I can't believe they still hold air. Those must be some really good inner tubes inside there. And that seat, There's a guy down the road that does automotive upholstering. I'll probably get him to make a new seat cover. I think they're available online, but I think I'll just take this down to him and have him put a new seat cover on it. So that'll look really nice in the repainted frame. And when I get the engine running, I'll probably repaint it so it looks all fresh and new looking, and mechanically all gone through, get this straightened out. And anyway, I think I can give this thing a new life. Okay, and that's kind of what drives me. That's what I enjoy doing, is finding stuff that it had a life to a point, and somebody gave up on it, something on it failed, and then somebody decided not to fix it any longer, and it got put in a shed or a barn or a back of a garage or who knows where and forgotten about. Well, these things can all be dug out, gone through, brought back to life, to have a second life, you know. So that's I enjoy bringing the old classics back and say, nope, we're not done with you yet. You're not going to the scrapyard. No, we're going to keep you around, you know. So what else? Okay, now the important part, at least as far as the channel goes. Let's go back in the garage just for a second. The important part is this. I'm going to give this, I don't know how important it is. I'm going to give this, try to put some new life into this channel here, starting with the mini bike thing. And when I'm back here for the summer, see what kind of projects I can get into, or maybe when I'm out on the road, sharing different, cool things, equipment related that I come across. Maybe pick up some projects while I'm out on the road and bring them back here with me. So I'm considering getting a smaller RV and a trailer, cargo trailer behind to haul some more tools with me, and maybe more toys with me, and just the ability to be able to haul stuff, pick stuff up out on the road and bring back. See how that goes. Anyway, about this channel, the Dave's Other Stuff channel, the trying to give it some new life. YouTube will push it out there as suggested videos better if it detects there's more activity on it, and the more activity the better. And that means, starting with this video, if you give it a thumbs up, if you click on the like, and if you comment, and so it's not just the video and the views, but any clicks or comment, all that kind of stuff shows up on is recognized on this system, not the analytics, what's the other word? Algorithms. Is that it? Anyway, the system picks it up and says, oh, hey, this must be a good video. There's activity on it, and they'll push it out more. So that'll help the channel grow. So be sure to do that. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All right? We'll be back in another video, probably get more in depth with what's going on with this thing and what it's going to take to get it running again, and get some power on that and get things fixed so power actually gets to the wheel. And we'll start on that in the next video. That's it. That's all I got. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time. I'll see you.